Live?
All right, we're going live now. Hey, now we're live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is the Meet the Pressers Riding Shotgun with Charlie SHOT Show wrap up. We obviously have Matt Mallory and Clint Macro from Meet the Pressers, and we have Charlie from Riding Shotgun with Charlie. And I know, right? Did you guys catch the crud this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I was only there 2 days, so I guess I wasn't there long enough.
You bailed out.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that's usually the case, with the exception of the SHOT Show crud and some infections from time to time. I've never really had to deal with those. Can you get AIDS off a toilet seat?
Herpes?
Not since the 80s, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just when it first came out, you could, but not anymore, right?
What changed,
man? I came through unscathed, but everyone I know that spent more than 2 days at the SHOT Show, they came back with the beloved crud.
I noticed that the people that spent more than 2 nights at the Circle came home with the crud.
I didn't go to the Circle Bar at all. It was a good thing.
The Circle Bar is a super spreader event for the crud.
Yeah,
I assume so.
I'll take you there. I'll take you there next year, Clint, because you're going to be there you're going to be there the whole week. All right, let's bring in our guests.
All right, let's bring in our guests, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guests up tonight are Rob and Amanda from Eye on the Target Radio, coming all the way from the states that's round on the end and high in the middle, Ohio.
That's a joke, son. See?
That's a good one.
It's a waka waka.
Okay.
All right. Did you guys get the crud? You guys are always on the go at SHOT Show.
Nope.
No
crud.
Really?
And how much time did you spend at the Circle Bar? There we go. Okay.
We're seeing patterns of behavior here.
I think I was there for like a minute and a half just to get somebody and reel them in away from it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Well, how was the SHOT Show for you guys? You guys, this is your third year of being on Radio Row, right?
Is it?
I think it's more than 3.
I don't know.
How many years? Do you know how many years you've gone to SHOT Show?
We figured it out. 20.
Wow.
20.
Wow.
So if you take away the 0, that's how many times Clint's been.
That's right.
That's it, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, we started. We opened a gun shop in 2004, and went to SHOT Show.
You want to hear a funny story? Is the first year we went, Amanda booked us a room at the Golden Palms, which she thought was a famous.
I thought it was the Palms, not the
anyhow,
Palms.
It was like off the strip, one of them where they climb up a pole and write $19 on the sign.
Oh wow!
No,
and you had to step over the chalk outline of the last guy that had the room, so you could get to the bed. And
that is truly it. I was under direct orders from that point forward. I am not allowed to book the hotel.
Yeah, you don't want to take your socks off if you stay at a hotel room at the Brown Nugget. The Brown Nugget.
Brown Nugget.
Yeah, this was not a highlight. You know, we'll just say it was like, ooh, we didn't know. I didn't know. I'd never been to Vegas when I booked it. Creepy.
Right.
You know?
Well, yeah, I don't know. How was our place, Clint? Was that a pretty good place that I booked?
Yeah, it was a nice place. It was clean. It was I thought it was fine. I had a really nice roommate that snored like a grizzly bear, which is something I haven't had to deal with since before my wife got her machine.
CPAP machine.
Oh, goodness. So now that she has her CPAP machine, I don't have to deal with the snoring. But like I say, it's kind of weird.
Wow.
No, now she just sounds like Luke. I am your father, right?
Yeah, I always joke. This is an adult show. It's like making love to a fighter pilot, I guess, is kind of what it is. That's a joke. It's a joke, son, like your Ohio thing. It's
they got
high in the middle, round on both ends.
Yeah, but in the back of my mind, I know Clint probably said, "Hey, can you keep that on tonight?"
Yeah, that doesn't fly. No.
Oh my gosh. So you guys have been doing so. Going back to doing Radio Row, I didn't think you guys got on until like 3 or 4 years ago. Like you guys were.
I think it might have been.
I think it was 2 years ago that we were on the main floor. So,
yeah,
so we were on
we were on Radio Row a year, then on the main floor, and then 2 years. So I think it's 4.
Yeah,
I
so
think
this is 4 years.
This was our 4th year. That sounds more legit.
Right. No, it's like you guys were super excited when you guys got accepted, asked, whatever the process is.
Well,
It
yeah.
was almost like we were a big deal at that point.
That's cool.
Right.
You are a big deal.
You are.
You know, I mean, when you get in the lineup between Lars Larson and Mike Gallagher with Sebastian Gorka across the hall from you, what can you say? You know,
Right.
You're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
well, it's like I feel like Steve Martin at that point. Look, more people will see me there than in the phone book. Or
Oh, I love the timely references. That's awesome.
So how?
timely references. That's a classic, Charlie.
Police. I tell people I look like the jerk when I walk around with all my stuff when I go to work.
Damn these glasses.
Exactly.
Guys,
We always use that. We don't need nothing but this ladder and this thermos and this.
exactly what I feel like. Anyway, who cares?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So you guys been there for a while, and doing shows. Who did you guys have on your show this year? You guys
that we recorded?
a lot of yeah.
Well, we were supposed to have Meet the Pressers, and we had a conflict in scheduling, so we'll cover that later. But there were some really cool people, but I think that the coolest was the
Attorney General for
Indiana
and the one for Montana.
That was the governor.
The governor of Montana. He made us want to move to Montana.
Yes.
Really? I got no Montana jokes. So
He does enough of a sales pitch that even though I know it's cold,
And snow, there's snow, giant-sized snowstorms there. We don't.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I
get
went
along with that too.
I went to Montana and I've taught up there at Will Parker's place a couple times. He's hosted me, and it's beautiful. But you know, he tells me like, yeah, we get snowed in. And I'm like, I get enough snow in New York, and I can't stand it. So
right? Yeah. So that's the spot. So that was kind of the cool stuff. I got so we've got quite a few segments. Some of them have not aired, and so they'll be running actually in the next 2 weeks.
As a nerd, that John Crump was a.
Oh yeah, we had John Crump on, and Rob was like, "Where has he been this whole time?" And I'm like, "We've had him before." He's like, "I don't remember," but
Klint and I have that conversation a lot. Like, did we have them on the show? I can't remember.
But he was like, "Wow, he knows a lot of stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's really smart." So John Crump is Rob's favorite guest. So there was that. I'll tell you, the coolest thing that I saw at SHOT Show was that new site by High-Vis, and I posted it on my Facebook page, and more people
started a battle.
I started a battle because everybody's
Really?
like, "Oh, that it's a gimmick and a gizmo and it's like, well, I need it in my hand, in my gun, and we'll see." But from what I looked at, and from what I held, and from what I think that it will answer the question when they tell you, you know, as soon as your sights come back, you know, somewhat in alignment, hammer down. And it's like, I just hammer down because I can't tell if it's going to be in alignment or not. So
That's why you buy a gun with a lot of bullets in it, right?
I'm good. Hey,
Step on the gas and just
step
keep
on the
it
gas.
going.
I hit stuff. So I'm just
Spray and pray?
No, I just happened to, I was interviewing Brian Hill the other night, so I pulled these out. Have you guys done the 5x5 drills?
Oh, I've seen him do those. I've seen
5
Jeff
seconds, 5 yards, 5 shots from either low ready or in a holster.
And those Jolly Green Giant cards?
No, they're 3x5.
3x5s.
She's just holding them really close.
Well, except there's 2022, 2023. But with a 365, I did that. So
it's a lot of fives in there.
Yeah, a lot. But anyhow, the 5x5 drill is kind of cool. But that High-Vis site, I think, is, we'll see. They're going to send me one.
Now, I didn't get a chance to see it. I saw your post on it, but we have to keep in mind there was a time when people talked about rock and roll and cell phones as like a gimmick that wasn't going to stick around either. So
it wasn't. Well, and the interesting part about this High-Vis site is it's not lit. It's a scintillation site, so it just picks up the light.
It does have a.
Did you call that a what site?
What do they call it? Stuff underneath it.
Yeah, it's got a trigicot and a light. It's a light in it, but it's a scintillation.
Scintillation.
Remember
that sounds like a lounge band
like
from
made-up
the fiber sites to pick up the lights, the green and orange ones.
Remember what were they? It wasn't Dayglow. What was the other company that? Who was it?
Ameriglow?
No, there was a glow company that had True Glow.
True Glow.
Remember True Glow? But it was sorry, engineering me. We built them. The extruded scintillation material that takes light from all different directions, aligns it into the tubular length, and so directs it at you. So
Like a
all the
fiber
light
optic wire.
all the light that's available comes to
Right.
you.
So this site was really fast, and as soon as it lined up, it lit up, so there was no doubt in your mind whether you were lined up or not. So all you really got to do is make sure you hold it on what you want to shoot at, and as soon as it turns green, pull the trigger.
You should be close enough.
Red light, green light.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because the front sight is red until you get the back sight lined up to it, and then it turns green.
That's
And
neat.
the whole thing.
That's pretty cool.
And since traffic lights have been teaching us that forever, and there's not, and the only thing is it doesn't have a little yellow go very fast light, but we know the red and the
Slow
the
down,
green.
speed up.
Yeah, we know that
How
part.
about they make a model that beeps for the blind?
There we go.
Like a metal
Hey,
detector.
blind people have every right to the Second Amendment that I do.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, we have a story on that.
I had one of my pepper spray class. 2 blind people took a pepper spray instructor class.
I had the Attorney General's office call me one day because they had a guy who was blind who wanted to get a concealed carry permit, and they didn't know how to handle it. So
Rob is sitting there. He's like, it's a Saturday morning. He's just.
I'm buying guns on the internet in my underwear, and they call me and want to ask me about this blind guy, and
They're like, are you good for a conference call with the Attorney General and the sheriff? And he's like,
they
sure.
blind?
As long as there's not a camera involved, we're all good.
As long as it's not FaceTime, we're good.
But yeah, it was just funny because they had him come in, and they're like, well, if he came into your shop, would you train him? I'm like, yeah, I would. If he could tell me from someone else in the shop, then I would say, yeah, because legally blind has different meanings. And then they said, well, if you were the sheriff, would you give him a license? And I'm like, no, he can't. And they're like, what do you mean? You just said you would train him and he needs it. I was like, yeah, but there's a whole lot of things that you guys he has to sue, and you guys have to decide how blind is he, if he's getting worse or better, if you have to have him tested every so often, if an eye doctor can tell you an actual number where blind is, so that you know in the future where that's going to be. And so after about a half hour, they finally got enough information. They let him sue him, and the guy actually won, and then they had to pay the lawyer fees for him, and get him a license.
Yeah, I recall a story. I recall a story, and this was told to me by Andy Landers when he was working down at NRA headquarters with and John Howard. And I don't know all the details of it, but basically there was an NRA instructor that had someone that I believe was totally lights out blind. And they had someone sign up for a class, and they reached out through the adaptive shooting program to Dr. Logar, I believe at the time. And anyhow, from what I understand, they sent an echolocation specialist to work with the person, and did one-on-one training, and they were able to get the hits on the high center chest. And
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a secondhand story. I wasn't involved with that, personally, but there's always a way, man. And even blind people that are lights out have every right to defend themselves and use a tool to defend themselves and their loved ones.
Well, on that note, Clint, I didn't see that one coming. Rob, thanks, Rob.
You are the cleverest.
Anyway, so we're right our last less than a minute here to go. So Rob and Amanda, go ahead and give us any closing thoughts on SHOT Show and what you thought.
Well, we have a great time going to the show. I mean, there's so many of our friends go, and so it's like old home week, and then you get to see new products. And we like the 5th floor where they do that, all the new products and the new vendors and stuff. We have a lot of fun.
New
up
supplier
there.
showcase. Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. All right. Well, it's been awesome having you on. Sorry it was so short. We'll have to have you back for a longer segment.
Okay, we'll do that.
Great. Good seeing you guys.
See ya.
You taking off too, Clint?
I think
Yeah,
Charlie's mic is turned off.
I'm going to split too. I have some things that I need to do this evening with my family. So best to everybody. Rob and Amanda, good to see you guys. Charlie, Matt, all the best to you, my friends. We'll see you soon. If anyone wants to come check me out, I'm doing seminars at Great American Outdoor Show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So hopefully we'll see you guys there.
Check them out. Good stuff. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Awesome. Charlie, your mic's not working. So here's Clover Tactical and Christopher and Rob Pincus.
What's up, guys?
So what you're telling me is I'm not going to get any time to talk because I'm here with Rob. Nice.
Well,
your mic's turned up. You got that going for you.
Yeah. Charlie's finagling. He's trying to get it working here. He's trying. He's working on it. Anyway, well, I'll let Charlie fix the mic issue that he is having. And gentlemen, how are you?
Go ahead, Clover, because I'm going to at some point start rambling.
Dude, yes, you will. I'm doing well. I really am on the road, but doing well.
Good. I know you were having a camera issue earlier, so we decided to.
Well, because I'm on the road, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It does sound like you're in a can, but I can hear you, so that's a good thing.
I can adjust if you need me to.
I
Audio.
can hear you. It just sounds like you're in the bedroom, kind of like, I got to be quiet. I can't talk loud. Are you back, Charlie?
Well,
I'm back.
Back.
Oh, geez.
Now
I
we
pissed
lost
Clover off. He just left.
Oh,
He's like,
boy.
screw you.
Hey, going.
I was picking on him.
All right. Yeah, we're back. Rob, you were busy as a mug, weren't you?
Yeah, busiest chat show in a while. And it was like a public facing busy, right? So I used to do a lot of that. The last several years, it's really been like meetings and personal defense network stuff and Second Amendment organization stuff and Avidity Arms manufacturing stuff. But this year I was in a lot of booths with personal defense network partners and sponsors of the tour, as well as a lot of our collaborators showing off the PD-10 and our new semi-automatic rifle over at Nemo. So it was a lot of booth time, which was cool because it's a SHOT Show style I haven't done in a while. And it gave me a chance to actually interact with a lot of the people that normally it's just, a handshake or a high five passing each other in the aisles. So.
Right.
I thought I pissed him off.
Clover's back.
One of the places I got to spend some time was at High-Vis. I got to evaluate that new site before it was released and actually did a video that they used internally for training. And then we posted it up at Personal Defense Network. It's actually a pretty cool site. It's very much along the lines of, it's a much more sophisticated version, but it's along the lines of something like a trench site. So if you can see it, then you're aligned, as Amanda was describing. But the way they've done the lensing on the back of that fiber optic, it really is a bright light. It lets you know for sure that you're aligned. And I think on the video that we put up at PDN, people will see it kind of where it has its strengths and then where it has its weaknesses, like any other sighting system, right? It's even the big square sights that I did with Ameriglow with the claw sights. Those are, I think, optimal for close quarters defensive use, but they're not what you'd want to use if you were trying to hit a 6-inch circle at 100 yards. And in the same way, the new sight from High-Vis is really good for certain things, and it's not great for everything. But that's okay.
Yeah, I love shooting 6-inch circles at 100 yards. That's fine.
Well, because you can.
It's funny. I did a private lesson on Friday, and I had a student. He's in the Air Force, and I told him, so let's go back to 50 yards. He goes, "What are we shooting?" I'm like, "Handgun." He goes, "Okay." So I had him shoot. He missed, and then I shot and I hit it, and I was like, "Well, that was good."
You know what it is? He's got
great,
those young
great coaching. Great coaching.
No, listen, I did help him earlier when we were closer to the target. 9 to 15 feet. Actually, we're up to 30 feet because we were shooting steel at one point. But anyway. Did
you give him the old, hey, if you take a couple more classes with me, you too can hit at 50 yards?
Yeah, I said I'm going to refine that so you can hit it at 50, and then we'll move to 100. And he's like,
"All right, I like it. It's a business model
for sure." Cool. So High-Vis, you talked about that. Clover, you have anything that you saw at SHOT Show? What was your big highlight?
Probably my favorite was that Diamondback revolver, that SDR. It just it was impressive right out of the gate that the double action trigger pull on that thing is absolutely amazing. I mean, revolvers are kind of my forte, so when I do a double action trigger pull like that and it impresses me, that says a lot, especially from a company known for AR-15s, right? Not revolvers.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
Okay. And you saw that at range day, and you shot it at range day? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I got to shoot it at range day, and then also it was in Diamondback. Did not have a booth this year, but that revolver was in the Davidson booth. So they were there. So I made a shot of text off to them and met up with them. Talking about them being Diamondback, met up with them in the Davidson's booth, much like we did with Rob in the PD10, I think.
Yep.
Maybe last year, but met up with them in the Davidson's booth and talked about it a little more.
Nice. Yeah, the revolver thing. I love revolvers, but as far as self-defense, I always make the joke that revolvers had their time and place for self-defense, and there's better technology out there today than a revolver in 1911. I like 70 Chevelles, but not a big fan of. I am a big fan of heated seats, cruise control, air conditioning, stuff like that. So.
Right, roll down automatic windows, right?
Yeah, 8 tracks. Not a big
fan. not a fan of that audio system.
So Rob, other than excuse me, other than high vis, what else tickled your fancy there?
Well, like I said, it was just you guys were talking about it in the last segment, so I thought I'd throw in some experiences.
Yeah, no, that was good.
But the thing that I've talked about the most that I really have been waiting for a couple of years is Nemo's new Mongoose 9mm PDW. And of course, it's going to be, available as a braced pistol or an SBR. I'm not sure if they're going to do a 16-inch, pure carbine version, but it's a really cool package around a 8 or 10-inch barrel. I think it's an 8-inch barrel 9mm. It has a very unique barrel and recoil system. That's what's kept them, from releasing it before it was ready. Now it's ready. It's a very lightweight, slim package. So in a world of very expensive B&Ts, the Grand Power Strabog that I like that one too, but it's kind of bulky and very Eastern European. The Scorpion, is nice, but it's big really for what it is. I think this Mongoose really just fills a nice niche in the sub $2,000 high end, high quality, unique operating system, but familiar operating system because it basically has AR type controls. It's really cool things. I'm excited about that being out there.
I really I concur with that. I double that because when we did the live, you and I did the live together there.
That's right. Yeah. You talked to Nemo Nick.
Oh, dude, I put my hands on that thing and I was like, this is pretty sweet. So yeah, that's a neat gun for sure.
That was a big highlight. I think that, for me, one of the things that was interesting is, I've had a year of people telling me that I really missed the boat on a single stack 9mm and should have done something different, right? Because everybody in the comments has all the answers to how I should have launched my gun company. But then at the same time, every other booth has a lever action gun. The H9 is back without its trick recoil system. Clover's talking about a revolver. It's funny to see so much evolution, I guess, not really innovation, but people going back to the well in the industry and in the community, going back to the well of ideas and then adding their touch or their spin or bringing it back or evolving it. I think that's really good and healthy. So while I didn't really look around SHOT Show this year and see a whole bunch of things that were just, wow, out of left field, new, innovative, pushing boundaries, what I did see was a lot of interesting innovation on old designs, I guess would be the way I would put it. And like the 5.7, like what Palmetto State is doing. Obviously what they showed was a pre-production prototype, but the idea that they're going to come out with an MP7 type gun in the 5.7, and the 5.7 is a useless round, right? Outside of the military law enforcement rounds that will pierce armor, it's a gimmick. And yet it's so popular. And that's why I'm excited about what we're doing with 30 Super Carry, because I really think 30 Super Carry is going to go through a phase at some point in the next couple of years where people realize what it is. And you're going to see a lot of guns, to include 8 to 10 inch barreled, either braced pistols or carbines out there. It's going to be really cool. So I like that the industry isn't necessarily reaching way out, but it's more refining things we've got.
That's good. That's good. Trampus is a proponent for the PD10, so that's good too.
He's run as many rounds as just about anybody else. I know a few guys who I'm 100% sure have run multiple thousands of rounds through their PD10s, and Trampus is one of them. He was the first one to post a video splitting a playing card in half. So he got that trend started for us, which was cool.
That's cool. Clover, do you have something to say, Clove?
Yeah, I was gonna agree with Rob. We had the podcast obviously during SHOT, and that ate into quite a bit of time each day, unfortunately. So I didn't get to see or do nearly as much as I have in years past. There's always these trade-offs, right? When you have new projects, new goals, and other things. But I would agree with Rob that while I did not see anything that just jumped out as far as innovation goes, I've seen a lot of cool. What was the word you used, Rob?
Evolution or innovations on the old team.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of cool evolutions on things, and one being Henry with their lever action and 300 blackout that is magazine fed, that takes the P mags or the standard AR mags.
Definitely. Yeah, the Henry's a sponsor. They've been a sponsor of mine for a while. I've got tons of guns. The Anthony and Kevin have sent over to me that I use in classes, as well as they've done some reviews on. And Henry's a great company, and the revolutionary stuff they got coming out is pretty cool. Trying to, like you were saying, Rob, bringing old school back.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of they may be the only one with the 300 blackout, but there's a couple of magazine, AR magazine fed lever actions out there now. And I don't know what practical value it serves or what superiority it has over other options for most people, but it's cool and it's fun. And like, sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, with something like the Henry version, of course you're threaded. What's the point in having a 300 blackout that's not, right? I can see reaching out to a hunting crowd that's not tactically minded, because if you look at some of the other lever action, 5.56s or whatever that were out there, a lot of those are tactical looking, right? The Henry is a more traditional looking rifle. So any old school hunter or whatever especially that reloads with 300 blackout and can get anywhere from a 90 grain to a 265 grain projectile sent down the barrel, you've got a lot of variety in projectiles you can use, a lot of versatility in that particular cartridge, and a rifle that, at least in some states, you can hunt with. Some states, of course, are straight wall cartridge, and you wouldn't be able to. But for those that it would be legal, could be a really cool option.
For sure. Yeah, I've got a 220 grain subsonic here that I keep loaded up in North Carolina, usually in a very short barrel bolt action, because I'm not a big fan of mixing 300 blackout and my 5.56 world of ARs.
Why?
For all the obvious reasons. But I am a big fan of the round in its place. And in its place, I think, is close range suppressed hunting.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, listen, gentlemen, it is we've got to wrap it up here. How can everybody find each of you?
For me, clovertech.com, that simple. And hit that up, all the projects, everything else right there in one spot.
All right, very cool. Rob?
I'm all over the place. Pincus, all the social medias, Avidity Arms, Gunmakers match is coming up in April. I thought Klint was going to be on because he's kind of like local host now for the Gunmakers match, second year in a row, April 27th. We're going to start talking about that a lot, so that'll be fun. And then all the normal stuff, Personal Defense Network, Avidity Arms, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate you bringing a whole bunch of great people on this hour. Hopefully people are sitting here and watching everybody, because there's a lot of good voices coming on later too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
We'll let you guys go. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yep. Stay safe.
All right. Before we bring our next passenger, our next guest on,
Charlie show.
Right. We do want to say that if you are watching the show, please go to meetthepressers.com/giveaway and enter the code Vegas to be entered to win the Mantis X10 and the pistol?
Mantis X10 this month.
All right, the Mantis. Make sure that you do that. And we're going to bring our next guest on. Our next guest is none other than Kevin Dixie, KD, from No Other Choice Firearms Training. How are you, sir?
I'm good, gentlemen. How are you guys? Charlie, long time no see, man. I tried to speak to you at SHOT Show and you walked right by me. I was like, okay, maybe he's got more than got more than one black friend now. So he you know, he didn't want to talk to me, but
so you came here. Go ahead. So you came here for this white friend then, not for him, right?
Correct. The friend that still respects me.
Yes. All right. So well, first of all, I apologize, right? You were looking so dapper in all the pictures. Unbelievable, right? Oh, you got some blue suit on. But I don't remember seeing you anywhere. I was darting around all over the place, man.
Yeah, 55,000 people, I think they said that was there this year, which is a small crowd for that show, but 55,000 people, you can't see everybody. But yeah, I saw you try to catch it, but no, you were moving 1,000 miles an hour, and so was I. So I tried to reach and grab your arm literally, and I missed you.
Yeah, I apologize about that, man. So
well, let's bring in our other guest to collaborate here. We got Luke Williams. Oh wait.
Oh yeah.
Thanks,
there I am.
We both bring them in at the same time. One of us brings them in. One of them brings them out.
I like it. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Am I too loud or anything?
No, you're good, man.
Good.
Oh, I
You
love
are
that.
good.
I'm so happy to be here with you guys. And I'm Katie. I'm so sorry that Charlie got other black friends. That's
uncomfortable, man. It's uncomfortable.
Man, it is uncomfortable. I don't have a lot. You can be mine. It's okay. You know, it's fine. Nah, well, never mind. No, thanks for having me, guys. It was a fun year at SHOT Show, so I'm excited to be here and chat about it for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, most definitely. So let's bop back over to you, KD. Tell us what you saw, what you kind of thought was the cool, neat thing there. You know, what was the big takeaway for you at SHOT Show?
So because I spent a lot of time running the Recoil podcast, I had about 10 hours over there over 2 days. I didn't get a chance to move around as much as I wanted to because of business obligations. But I will say there's nothing new about people being excited about the DRS option from Holosun. That's the thermal sight that they have over there is pretty cool. And it's not because we don't have options out there that do very similar things or maybe even to a higher level, but they have been priced out for the average consumer. So now to have something, you know, if you're looking at now, say, you know, coyote hunting, let's just make that a thing that you want to do right now. You can, for $1,800 for the nicer version of it, you actually can get a decent thermal sight, you know, that can see out to that 100-yard range, which you're probably going to be yanking yotes much further than that to kind of do stuff. So I like the fact that consumer option is out there. Then they also have a pistol version one that a lot of people didn't know about and weren't talking about. That one I'm still going to come back on because it's 2 units separate. So it mounts on a pistol. It's the same technology, except you have a red dot-ish looking object sitting up top, right? Kind of puts you in the mindset of the size of, what is the one from Swamp Fox, the Kraken. It puts you in mindset of the size of it. But in order to get all the technology to feed into that device, you have to then mount what essentially looks like a weapon mounted light to the rail. So you have 2 pieces to make that one piece work. That was pretty interesting. And then the last thing I saw was the Stogie mag. That was the one thing I was the most excited about. Basically, it looks like a oversized 50 BMG magazine, but it's actually for cigars. So it's a magazine that actually holds cigars, so you can kick cigars out just like you can kick out rounds. And that was actually the most impressive thing to me.
That's pretty cool.
So that had your fancy, your lighting fires.
You know what, man? I like that. I like that. And I got a heart for the guy in the garage. You know what I mean? Like the person that is in the garage trying to figure it out, trying to have that breakthrough product. I got a real big heart for that. So I saw the guy. I gave him some pub because I can recognize guys trying to work hard. So I used my platform, gave him some publicity. Hope it does well for him. I think they start coming out in March, but it's $89 and it's pretty massive, but it can hold your cigar. So it's kind of cool as like a range novelty, or even I'm leaving one event that I'm leaving now is at a cigar bar. So like going to a cigar bar or something like that, I think it's pretty cool. But that was the things that I got a chance to really see. Other than that, man, I didn't really get a chance to touch and feel. Oh, SIG magazine. I'm sorry, Magpul SIG magazine. That was interesting. To see the fact that Magpul kind of stepped away from polymer to try something new out was a little interesting. So I did enjoy that. for the 320. I believe it's for the 226 and the 320. So that was interesting because of the price point. I think the MSRP on that thing is somewhere between 20 and 25 bucks. And even as a dealer of some SIG products, I mean, man, dealer cost on a SIG mag could be 28, 29 bucks, just dealer cost, right? So it was kind of cool to see them coming out. If it works, we'll see, but that was nice too.
Very cool. Your the podcast that you were doing for Recoil Magazine, was that your first time doing a podcast from SHOT Show like that?
Like that, yes. I've done them before, but like that, with that amount of guests, I think we ran 25, 26 different guests over 10 hours. Was exhausting, but we had a good time. I mean, we had a great time. I got a chance to highlight a lot of people and got a chance to have some really interesting conversations with some guys I really didn't know that well. So that was good. It's always good to get people on in a room at SHOT because there's so many people out there doing so many cool things that you don't get a chance to really rub elbows with. So to see what guys were doing to talk to them, that was pretty cool. So all right.
Nice. Yeah, that's we actually just Klint and I just secured Otis. We're going to be recording our shows from the Otis studio in the middle of the main floor next year at SHOT Show. So we're pretty excited about that. We did that a little bit with Keltec years ago, and it was kind of neat. And then when we found out Otis had their own little studio area, I was like, okay, so we're partnering up with Otis. Otis is a local company here in New York from me, so they've sponsored me over the years, so we're gonna kind of partner up with them on that. So it was neat to see that you were doing that, and saw you over there, hard at work, looking dapper.
Well, thank you, sir, and go ahead and let Luke talk. Well, even though you tried to one up me, but go ahead.
I wasn't one upping you.
I'm just saying, man. I'm okay.
I heard it.
KD,
I'm sorry, they're this way to you, bro.
I'll bring you into the studio to have you.
I'm worthy of an interview that is so hot.
Yes. Well, you're here tonight, right?
I love it.
Luke, take me away, Luke, before I put my foot in my mouth more.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take this from you before it gets bad. No, it was a great SHOT show.
No, he doesn't like either of us, Charlie.
Yeah, he doesn't like y'all. Don't worry, KD, you can say how to. I mean, I do have a BBF. My best black friend, it's Curtis. But that said, even though I have a BBF, I'll still say hi to you on the floor. So
I appreciate
Charlie,
that.
you just man,
I was on the run, man. I was actually doing shows at the Samsung booth this year, and that was new for me. So
to be fair, Charlie is a hardworking man at SHOT. I will give him a lot of credit. The man is running around like crazy. But no, look, SHOT was fun for us. It was for True Southern TV this year is a little bit of a different. We wanted to try some different things. That's actually how I got hooked up with Matt and Charlie here. Troll most of the time, thanks to Jack. But we had a lot of fun there. But a lot of our effort went into that. But getting back to the show floor for a second, there's a couple of things coming back. Number one, high-vis is killer. If we want to come back to what they were talking about earlier, high-vis products are great. We'll talk about Rob's PD10. I know it's not a SHOT Show deal for this year specifically, but it is something that we did bring on the show that I was interested in. But coming back to what KD said, talking about Hollison, their thermal, the pistol mounted thermal. Here's what I liked about that. It wasn't that the technology of how it was built there, and something Adam Lidke really brought into play for me was that. Sorry, I'm so ADHD. So when like a comment pops up, that's it for me. It's super squirrel. No, but the thermal. I think what's cool and what Adam brought up is the idea that little transmitter has potential beyond just a sight on your firearm. What if that has potential into like Google glasses or whatever's Apple glasses are, anything else that gives you a thermal look? Again, just trying to look at innovation beyond where we're at. Whether or not it'll stick, I don't know. And kind of speaking of innovation of whether or not we know it'll stick or not, and I do enjoy seeing new things, even if they're not long-term new things. I like seeing companies come in and really try to put something new, like a new flavor in the water, right? One that I really liked was, let me back that up. I really liked the fact that they took a step forward and tried something different. Bilson Arms, they had a forward charging grip. We talked about it a lot on our show. We got to shoot it at range day. It's interesting. I don't think that it is currently where it needs to be as far as a product. I think it has a different place than just a forward charging handle. And what it essentially is it looks like a pump shotgun on an AR. The problem with that is unless that's all you shoot, your habits are not going to work well if you have to use it in a a situation, right? And so that was one thing. Like when I got up to shoot it, I took my first shot and immediately threw a live round out. But I do think it might have some play in some single shot rifles, where you don't have to come back to a bolt and you have it right up here on your grip. Could be a play, but either way, I appreciated the fact that they brought something new. And that's always what I'm looking for at SHOT. I'm looking for people that are bringing something new. And honestly, we haven't seen it in a couple of years where it's just been something that's absolutely different. We come to SHOT and we see a bunch of different colored ARs. But it is what it is. That said, I did enjoy getting my hands on Rob's PD-10. He came in for one of our shows one day, and so that was the first time I've really got to mess with it. And we're hoping to get one here so we can do a review on it in the field. But that's a slightly different. I don't think people are giving it the credit for being what it is. People are looking at it like just another single stack, which is fine. But it's just built a little bit different. It's built to kind of be the I don't know how to best say this. It's it's just made to throw in the mud, pull back out, and shoot again and work. And I appreciate that level of build in anything. And I think it seems like Rob's done a good job with that. We'll find out when we get it and we throw it in the mud and pull it out and see if it shoots. But it was neat. So getting to see that in hands again, like I said, SHOT was a little bit different this year. I got to teach at SHOT University this year, which has been on one of my goals for a long time. So taught on content creation for companies, and so that was a lot of fun. Got to talk to like 250 people, different business owners in the industry, so that was pretty neat. But yeah, I mean, SHOT's fun, man. But really, my highlights at the end of the day were hanging out with guys like you at the end of it, and just having a blast and drinking and hanging out.
Yeah, no, it was fun to be on your show for sure. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm just glad he made it to our room, even though he didn't know if he made it to his room.
This is true. Someone did have to walk me back to my hotel, and they had. I just
got to say that. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Charlie. I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
They had to remind me: left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
Sometimes we need that reminder.
Yeah. The next morning, I text you. I'm like, "Hey, you okay?" You go, "Yeah, I made it to my room." I was like, "Yes." But one thing I do want to say, we all were doing interviews there, and to Katie's credit, trying to dig myself out, it sounds like he did the most amount of interviews out of all of us. Maybe even all of us combined, he did more interviews.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, so now you want to make me look like the braggadocious asshole with everybody else. Okay, I see how this is going, man. All right.
I see what they're doing.
Well, look at the time, huh?
Right, man.
Oh, goodness.
I love you, Katie. I would like to. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys might have another question. I know we only got 7 minutes left, so I don't. Go ahead.
No. So people, I've seen comments come in, but I haven't seen any questions come in. So go ahead.
One thing I would like to say, and I did the exclusive interview with the guy. So there you go, Matt, if that makes you feel better. About the gentleman who was assaulted at SHOT Show.
I saw that.
And here's the one thing I will leave people with. I know we're going to give like where you can find us when we get off the show, but I'm not going to take up this show talking about that. But just understand, if you heard rumors about it, probably what you've heard, if you heard about the racial slur and then an assault happening right after that, those things are factually true. And here's the one thing I would like for everybody to do. Don't be a jerk. Right. And if you want to call somebody that is cautious about that because their lived experience and what they've heard about the Second Amendment community, coupled with this factual thing that just occurred, try to be a little gracious and still be a good representative of what this community should be by calling out the BS and saying that's unacceptable, and not making people feel like that. Well, yeah, if you're concerned about that, you're just not ready for this world, or you're not ready to really be a patriot, or whatever other dog whistle thing that you can say to somebody. Understand that people do have a lived experience. They do have some reservations. This community does have a reputation, true or not, it has it, right? And so when people have factual things like that have been heard around the world, understand that your job now is to be an ambassador and to make sure you're shining light in darkness, right? And just be a good person, be a good representative.
Well said. Kudos on that, Katie. It was good that you were able to get that interview. And be nice to everybody, but have a plan to kill everybody in the room, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Where did you put this on Instagram? Where where can people
yeah, it's up on my Instagram and YouTube. It's The Real NOC on Instagram. So it's about an hour and 4 minute drop. However, me and him talk for about a good 45, 50 minutes. And then the other part of it, I'm just, doing my thing and saying what I said. And I meant it. And one of the things that, a couple of guys, and I'm good friends with a bunch of soft dudes, special operation forces. I'm friends with a lot of them. And, in conversation, some people were like, really concerned about one thing that I said in there. And I did. I made the statement talking to Joey Goodlow that badasses get put down too. You don't have the right just because you did something that was, applauded 10 years ago. You don't then get free reign to go then assault the same Americans you say you were fighting for. That's not how this works. And we don't have to bow down to you because you did a good thing. We can celebrate the good thing. We can celebrate you taking time away from your family, putting your body at risk, serving your country, not making good money while you're doing it. We can have all those, not getting good medical support when it's done. We can have all those conversations and give support where support is due. But whether it's that, whether it's a street cop, whether it's anybody on this podcast and what we've done in our lives, we don't get to say because of what we did a decade ago or yesterday that then we get to wake up today and do something adverse and say, well, you should just get over it because of my history. No, you're going to be held accountable, and we all should be.
Absolutely. So on that note, why don't you let everybody know how they can find you, KD? And I know you got to go because you got an event to get back to.
No, now you're trying to kick me off first. This is just disrespect.
Wasn't that? I thought that was.
We got 3 minutes left, man. You know what? It's okay. Luke,
we do.
Luke has the prettier studio right now because I'm in my car anyway. So
Ooh, are you on Common Core time?
Am I what?
Are you on Common Core time? We're
Common Core. Oh no. Well, I don't know. Okay. Anywho, the Real NOC, and I forgot to put it in the studio thingy there. But the Real NOC stands for No Other Choice. That is all the social medias. The Real NOC, most active on IG. I'm doing the YouTube thing this year now. You can also just Google me and you'll see Kevin Dixie. You'll see it pop up. NoOtherChoice.com if you're interested in firearms training and all the other community stuff we do, aiming for the truth and stuff like that, where we build better communities. So yeah, the Real NOC is how you start. NOC Firearms on X, if that's what it's called nowadays. Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Very cool.
Always great having you.
Thank you, sir. Luke, how about you, sir?
Yeah, you can just find our stuff on True Southern TV. You can check it on all the socials, all that kind of stuff, YouTube, Facebook, and stuff. You can go to our site, truesoutherntv.com, but we're pretty easy to find. So just search us and you will you'll be there for sure. KD, I'm glad I got to spend time with you. I'm sorry that that we invited the other two guests, but
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Luke, you know what, man? I'll just reach out to you and talk to you directly.
Yeah, that sounds good, KD.
Respectable guy,
There we go.
Matt, Charlie, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me on. Really, it's been an honor. I love you guys to death. KD, our first time meeting, but I can already tell we're gonna be BBFs too. So it was good talking to you, buddy.
Cool. Likewise, brother. Likewise, man.
Stay safe, guys.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you,
gentlemen.
Soon. All right,
thanks for having us on. Bye.
What was that stuff that he had in the background there? What was all that stuff?
I don't know. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh my goodness!
Speaking of pretty wild, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike Piwowarski.
Where's Earl?
Earl is he's doing a thing with a truck with a guy, and I'm not supposed to say any more than that.
So he ain't coming?
He is not. And the two backups backed way up, and they couldn't get here either. So you got me. I mean, I want to.
Well, then you know what we'll do. We still have somebody on the backstage. So why don't we bring Luke back in?
Absolutely. Let's surprise.
Wait, you're gonna bring Luke back in?
Yeah.
You know how mad you're gonna make KD that we bumped KD off for 4 white guys?
KD
That's exactly what happened.
KD wanted to go back and start sucking on cigars.
Yeah, you didn't think about that? So this does not look good.
Yeah. KD, I'm gonna have to. So my phone's gonna ring in a minute here from KD. What is going on? Why you bumped a black guy? So it's gonna be.
It's funny. I didn't even think of that until you just said it. So there. So I'm not racist.
Well, that's because you're racist, Matt. It doesn't occur to you. It just doesn't happen to you. I do want to thank all the opening acts that you had before I got here. That's pretty nice.
Yes.
It was so good opening for you, Mike. Like that was a good day for me. I was like, man, this is what brought me in.
Charlie and I did it again, though. I brought you back in. Charlie sent you out. I brought you back in again. We gotta get used to that. We just like clicking buttons.
That's about like SHOT Show, right? It's about like SHOT Show.
We'll bring him in. Nope, he's out. Nope, he's in. Never mind.
All right. So Mike, give us a lowdown.
How was Shot for you? How long have you been on Radio Row?
Radio Row, I think that was our 7th or 8th year on Radio Row. We the first four years we just kind of hung around, trying to get on. And it just I guess we impressed. We sat in as a last minute substitute and kind of got the word like bring your gear just in case. And then we went in there and turned out numbers that they hadn't seen before, and we've been asked back every year.
Nice.
So we did we did some incredible numbers for them again this year. So
that's awesome. Yeah, Matt brought it up. He's like, hey, maybe we should get a spot on Radio Row. I'm like, hey, maybe we need a radio show.
You would think that's required, but I think we got one hovering around that's not a radio show. So I think that was more politics than anything else.
Yeah, you just have to be a media company. So we actually tried to get one this year, like the day before, which I know is stupid. But that's how I like to roll. But I did find out you don't. For those of you that don't know, at SHOT Show, there's this area right outside of the main floor, and it's all media, it's all radio or podcast, right? And so I think they've changed it now to where it's more just media, podcast recordings and that kind of stuff.
What I'm getting is the radio portion. They have to be on the air radio on a radio station somewhere. They do have some of the video guys there that might be podcast only, not on TV.
Interesting. Okay.
So the video ones can still be under that I guess vidcast podcast category. Right. The ones that sit down and say, hey, we're a radio show, they have to be coming through the old school airwaves.
I love that
to qualify for it.
Gotcha.
I think that's the way it should be. I love radio. I started in radio. So
listen, it's great. I never thought I'd be in radio and just having a blast. This is our 10th year of doing it now. So we're having a good time.
I think we all have the face for radio. So I think that's perfect for all.
I got a voice for newspapers.
Yeah. That's right.
I listened to the radio today. I mean,
wow.
Okay. Well,
awkward silence. Everybody's like,
you have the police scanner on? What were you doing?
Like.
Anyway, so how many years at SHOT Show, Mike? How many years total have you been at SHOT Show?
Let's see. The first one would have been 2010 out there. I did a few when they were here in Orlando, but it's been consistent since 2010, minus the C word year when none of us went.
Right. That's a good record. Luke, how long have you been going?
Probably 8 or 9 years, something like that.
Okay.
I don't really know. It's been a while. I know I was through the C years. It was interesting this year, Mike, and you can tell me, you guys were all there too, but I feel like this is the first year we were back to pre-COVID feeling in the rooms. Like when I walked in, I felt like we were shoulder to shoulder. There was a lot of people. Like for the past couple of years, it's been, it hasn't been as many people walking through the main areas.
Yeah, I think the numbers were still down some this year, but that was more economic. A lot of people, a lot of dealers, and I'm also an FFL, a lot of dealers didn't have the extra money to do the SHOT Show vacation they do every year. Right. So there was a lot less of the people dragging carts, banging you in the ankles. The people that were there were the people that had money, had a mission, and they were there to do it. I'm pleased this year we got some honest numbers out of the show, unlike last year where I think they added 50% just to make it seem like we had a full crowd.
Right.
Well, I think last year too, it was partially because they had the new building. And it was kind of spread out a lot more because I remember, wasn't it last year you guys were inside? Radio Row was like in the middle of the main floor.
I think it was two years ago when we came out. Beretta, and I remember that we were in the Beretta media zone then because that would have been 22, right? And Beretta still, obviously being in Italy and in Europe, they still had a lot of restrictions. They couldn't get their people in their operation over here. So, that was one of the reasons they weren't there. But I think last year was the first year we saw people here. And there's a lot of changes at SHOT Show too. You look around the room, there's a lot of players that are not there anymore. They realized during COVID that they don't need to be there to sell guns. They don't need to be there to attract these FFLs. The distributors are there and everybody's wanting to buy from them. There's a lot of big players. You look around that room, and I don't want to throw names out there, but there's a lot of big players that are not there anymore.
Well, it seems like Luke's a big player because people keep throwing balloons.
Their balloons keep showing up, guys. I don't know what I'm doing.
Somebody gave you a thumbs up earlier, and I'm like, where'd that come from?
I don't know. Well, okay.
There we go.
But I'm not sure how that works.
Somebody likes Luke.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. How do I make gestures go away?
We'll do more of them. One to say, there's no profit for us. We're coming there and spending millions of dollars a year, and there's no benefit for us other than to show off and say, here we are. Listen, it's been since since last time we had 120, right? 2020 that Glock did the Glock party, which was the reward for all their dealers, all their Glock distributors, dealers, and they haven't done that. That party was a couple $1 million every time they threw it.
Yeah, some of those parties, I mean, the guns.com party, the USCCA party, when I go in there, I'm like, they're paying for all the food, all the drinks. They got, for guns.com, they had an alien running around this time dancing.
They did.
Yeah,
it was doing weird things.
He was.
Mostly Matt, but yeah.
I heard about this. I didn't make it, but
you were not there. No, in spirit, Charlie, in spirit.
Right, I was the alien. I had no idea.
Wouldn't that be something?
Exactly.
Watch that Luke guy.
Yeah, that's
somebody
true.
you know.
So, Mike, being on Radio Row, do you get to how much time do you get to actually get out on the floor?
We set our own hours. I can tell you that there were 2 people that were on Radio Row last year that came and did like their 1 or 2 hour show, and they didn't get asked back. And they'd been there, quite some time. NSSF wants us out there visible first off, so that what they're putting into Media Row has some visual return for them, and then they want the numbers at the end of the week. We have to give them the numbers of interviews, number of airtime that we're on, and geez, I think we hit, it was either 50 or 60 hours. I'd have to go back and do over the course of the week that we did. This the first year, I'll tell you what, in 10 years where I had my voice when I left, because normally we do them so hard and fast that it was it. But I actually kind of attribute that to the circle bar, though, because I learned to stand further back at the circle bar to save my voice. So
right,
you sit back, in the second circle rather than
second circle. Yeah, I was just going to say that you're on the outside circle.
Like the rings of 7 here.
Yeah,
you're in the outside circle of the outside circle of the circle bar. Also, you don't catch COVID when you're out that far, right?
True.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that. I haven't had a cold or a sniffle in 30 years, so I don't know. That's it.
Not COVID. I'm sorry. The
C word.
Yes.
C word. Yeah.
Separated from reality So David was my camera guy last year and this year. Klint my guy this year, and we're gonna be going to GunCon, and David's driving out with me, and we've also got
that's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna be going to GunCon and doing some reporting from there in June out at Brownells.
Out to Iowa.
Iowa.
Driving
to Iowa.
Let me ask you guys, Matt, Charlie, you guys, how much time you get to go on the floor? Because I didn't really go on the floor except to see the couple of sponsors that we're there with. I've had a lot of time carrying guns with the different government agencies and doing real shoots and real two-way shooting kind of scenarios. I've yet to see a gun in the past 5 years that I've said, that's nice. I don't think there's anything new out there I could see until they showed me a plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Other than that, I'm just like, oh, look, another gun.
Right.
Did you guys see anything out there you liked?
Go ahead, Charlie.
I did shows every day from the Samson booth. So I got there an hour or so beforehand to set everything up. And then I broke everything down, and then I filmed three episodes for Riding Shotgun while I was there. And I did your show. I did a show with Clover Tack, and then I may have done Luke's show from what if we check.
Right. You did. Remember. There is proof that happened. Yeah.
Can I get a SHOT Show story for you if you got a second when we get there. Go ahead, Matt. I want to hear yours too.
Yeah. Well, just to sum, I didn't get any time on the floor. Like that's it.
Okay.
I was just media room and Samson, and media room and Samson.
So we hit the ground running ahead of time, pretty much. I basically gave a list to Andrew. Andrew was our handler. He did all the scheduling. He did all the plotting of which booths we're going to go to. I told him what I wanted to do, which sponsors we had to go to, and prioritize them. Actually, our whole team did. We had a team of 6 this year, and we just hit the floor and went to we hit everything we wanted to hit. We did, I think, 6 or 8 sit-down interviews. That'll be IMDb listed interviews. We did probably 8 to 10 product reviews / commercials for different companies we want to work with and current sponsors. And then we were on probably a good 5 or 6 shows. We did a show with Charlie, we did a show with Luke, which we did a show with you, 2 shows with you actually for your 2 shows. So yeah, it was good. We were just all over the place. It felt, I know I missed people. I know we missed booths I wanted to go to, but we accomplished our goal, and it was good.
So about 4 or 5 years ago, the first time we hosted our party, the Arms Room Radio party on Monday night, the kickoff party at the Hop Brow House, we brought all our gear in and did recordings in there. And I brought Craig DeLuz in there also from the Rundown. He's actually running for Congress out in California. And Craig had this idea we were going to do a show called Booze with DeLuz. It's back when he was with Firearms Policy Coalition. And we did evidently a number of interviews on camera to the point where I completely forgot about them. Like the next day I saw people on the floor and on Media Row, and I said, hey, need you to stop by so we could do an interview. And they were like another one. And I'm like, nah, they good. Quit joking around. Let me get you on the schedule. And that probably happened with 4 or 5 people. And finally Craig came back in because we were on a different timeline sharing the booth. And I said, man, I got like 4 or 5 people that don't want to do the show. I told him the names. He goes, dude, we already did shows with them. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah. And he pulls them up on his laptop. He goes, I don't think we could use them. I go, why not? He goes, watch. And there's Craig, there's Guest, and they're totally hammered. I mean, just how's it going? And there I am. I swear to guys, and there's a couple on YouTube out there I can send you, but there's me going, hey, welcome back to Booze with DeLuz. We're here at the Hop Brow House. We're meeting with so and so and so and so. I have no recollection at all. Gone. Gone. So I really pulled a Charlie while I was there. You know?
I pulled a Piwowarski.
Pulled a Charlie. No. Pulled a Charlie. We're gonna stick with that. That's the way to go.
It's funny you say that, because on Friday I went up and Friday morning, it was a tough Thursday. I go up and I go to a booth. I started talking to somebody. They hand me the business card, and a little bit later I go, hey, can I get one of your cards? He goes, yeah, I just handed you one. And I'm like, not enough coffee yet. Too early in the morning, right? Yeah. So,
I hate when people try to do business in the press room at breakfast, Tom.
No.
That's not okay. That's what I've come to eat. No. I do not have enough Red Bull in me yet to exist to deal with you. Yeah, like I'm sure you're nice. I remember I went up and gave Charlie the next morning. I went up and put my arm around him. I was like, good morning, buddy. I figured he probably wouldn't remember that at all. He took a picture. So I feel like Charlie has conditioned himself at this point to be like, I'm going to take a picture so I can go back and remember this happened later, which is very smart, very wise, Charlie.
It was, I thought it was great. I didn't feel as bad as I should have. Let's put it that way. I felt like I was young again. And then, Luke came up. He's like, dude, that was the best time I've ever had doing a live stream video.
100%.
We got to have you back. And I'm like, all right, let's do it, man. And I'm like, I don't remember who he is. I got to get a picture with him so I can remember.
Oh yeah. Listen, my phone is nothing but clues from what I did during the week. I just would take a picture of something, and then the next morning try and figure out what the hell I did.
Last year we did so many like commercials for booths that we actually had to like start with the image of the booth and then zoom in on the person's badge and then do the commercial just to make sure we can match everything up, because we're like, who is that again? Well, it's always awesome. You guys are a hoot, and you guys like to drink, so I don't do that often. But
I'm no Klint. Let's see the patch. Let me see if you see it. That one there.
Right.
The bottom one.
Clean and accidental.
Over.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a week, the 17th.
Oh, you know what? That's you. I got some guy written here on my calendar that's going to be in the studio, and it's you. Okay, let me put that up there.
You can hey, just take a screenshot so you can look back and remember.
Let's see.
We'll send them the show.
What's this say? Banned from stage.
And you don't know him. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, we are over time, gentlemen. Are we? We're not giving away a thing tonight, are we? We're giving away something next time.
No, yeah, we'll do it. We're doing the author show coming up on the 26th.
The author show on the 26th. So yeah. All right. So if you have not, you need to go to meetthepressers.com/giveaway, enter the code Vegas, and we will put you in the drawing for the Mantis X that we're going to be giving away on February 26th when we talk to a bunch of our friends that are authors. How can people find all of you guys again? Luke, let's have you go first, sir.
Well, I already went once, but True Southern TV on everything. Mike, go ahead. You're way more important.
Yeah, right. Armsroomradio.com. I think the old site's in placeholder while the new one's being fixed, but armsroomradio.com will get you everything for us.
All right,
Awesome,
very
guys.
cool. If you have, let's close things out.
Cool.
So plug the next show that we're doing, which I already just plugged.
I thought we danced. We don't dance at the end. Oh,
I
sorry.
thought
So
we
the-
danced too.
the-
I was here for that.
What's the 26th is a Monday, I think. So 2 weeks. 25th. That's 25th. I forget. Let me look at my calendar here so we get it right.
No idea.
It is 26 is a
Tuesday?
Tuesday. No, that's March.
By the way, I'm just gonna say how while y'all
back.
figuring out these dates, hi to all the SNG
Talk.
group. They're the one in here commenting and that kind of stuff. So Swanson Media Group, Trampet Swanson, all them. Thank you guys for coming.
Oh
in.
yeah.
And so y'all been pretty deep in all this. I'm just trying to buy some time so Matt can figure out the technology.
I'm ready.
for his dates.
I'm ready.
Okay,
So
cool.
Monday the 26th, 8 p.m. We've got an author show. We're going to kind of do the same thing we did here. 2 authors per 15 minutes that are conservative Second Amendment authors that we're going to be basically interviewing and having them talk about out their latest book or whatever book that they want to pitch. Authors from brand new authors that have done one book up to authors that have done 10 or more. So it's going to be a fun night.
It's going to be a fun show. All right. So so we thank you guys for tuning in. Please check out all of the folks that we had on. If there's nothing else, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for being on.
Stay safe, everybody.
Yes, balloons.
Where did Luke get?
Give me balloons. I want balloons and confetti. All right, who's doing that? Somebody's got to tell us who's doing that. How the
Confetti again.
Oh,
hey, Charlie, do the sound that you did earlier.
Well, hold on a second. So to close things out, we got this.
Oh my
It sounds like Vegas. Let's hope it doesn't smell like Vegas.
And on that note, I bid adieu.
That's
We'll
enough.
see you guys next time.